some people would say it's like an occult thing or something like that. I don't think so. I don't know exactly. This is the one that really gets the occult or the conspiracy people going, is the maintain, the very top, and there's 10 things here. Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. The other things that are very mysterious about it is the astrological type of things that are done with it. For instance, on this center block, they're very strategically set in a they say you can tell time by it, like a sundial. They're not just set out in a field randomly. There was a lot of planning that went into these. And for instance, this is what I was going to say, is this hole. You see this hole here in the center? Well, it's not just a hole, you can see through it, it goes through the other side. And at any given night, when the skies are clear, through this hole, you will be able to see the star Polaris. The star Polaris is our northern star. So when people talk about the North Star, they're talking about the star Polaris. Through that hole, you can always see Polaris. I have a lot more to say about that, but I'm not going to say it on this channel because that's not the intent.
Hold this position for a while. This is about study. Incredible. It's like looking into infinity. Remember the course in ancient history at Starfleet Academy about the time when men still believed the Earth was flat,
and that the sun revolved around it,
and that if a ship sailed too far out into the ocean, it would fall off the edge of the world.
Get a light. For crying out loud, it's just a TV show. I mean, look at the way you're dressed. You turned an enjoyable little job that I did as a lark for a few years into a colossal waste of time.
You go, wow, that's death. That's what I saw.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Wow.
I am overwhelmed.
First, you need to talk about the dark things that are happening, the dramatic things that can affect us all. Here I am, adding to your darkness. Broke through it, and then all of a sudden, with this punch in the face, there was the blackness of space, and none of the mystery, the twinkling stars, the galaxies, just pure blackness, because the sun was in my face and window, whatever the reasons were. Space is cold and ominous and ugly, and it really threatens death. There's death there. But I was moved to tears by what I saw, and I come back filled with, overwhelmed by sadness and empathy for this beautiful thing we call Earth.
But I think that there is a promise in the truth.
That's death up there, life down here. And between the two, ruining this planet as we are, we're on the verge to bring you the good news that we're at the tipping point. We can't got time to wait 30 years.
What the way is this? Find out in 30 years. It's about the future, isn't it? It's information about the future. I warned you about this, kid. The consequences can be disaster.
That's a risk you're gonna have to take. Your life depends on it.
I refuse
were both in Skull and Bone at the secret society. It's so secret we can't talk. What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists are going to go on.
Sure they are. I don't know. I haven't seen the web.
Number 322.
real problem is this, James. In decades, there will be 7 billion human beings on this planet. Most of them brown, yellow, or black. All of them hungry. All of them determined to love. And swarm out of their breeding grounds into Europe and North America. Hence Vietnam. An all-out effort there will give us control of South Asia for decades to come. And with proper planning, we can reduce the population to 550 million by the end of the century. I know. I've seen the data.
You sound rather like God's reading the Doomsday Book, don't you?
Well, someone has to do that. Not only will the nations affected be better off, but the techniques developed there can be used to reduce our own excess population. Blacks, Puerto Ricans, Mexican Americans, poverty-prone whites, and so forth.
My name's Fred.
Hey Fred, how are you? I'm Rob.
I'm my friend Rob here. We're from Canada. We just spent 6 months in Florida.
Nice.
And we're on our way back. And I thought, well, you know, I wanted to see these for the last few years when I found out about them. And if you look at them, it's very interesting. There's like 10 commandments. Now, what does that remind you of?
I know.
Right? Old Testament. God's
A
word.
lot of mystery behind these.
Oh, not that much when you really think about it. This is a philosophy for how to run the world.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about keeping people, humanity under 500 million people. Hello? How are we going to get there?
Who gets to pick, though?
How are we going to get there? Right. So either you say, well, it's going to be a natural disaster, nuclear disaster. This is the Guidestones to guide humanity in the future. Or, well, let's all work together to attain these goals.
Right. Now, these were put in 1980 when there was a lot of paranoia about nuclear war. Where do you think we are now? Are we in a better place or a worse place?
No, I think there are people working to attain these things. And if you keep going down, you have to guide reproduction. I mean, tell people how many babies, no babies, eliminate babies, and all these things. One, unity in language. This goes completely against what God has done at the Tower of Babel, where he split up humanity in all these languages. So this is working against, and again, God said in the beginning, fill the earth with people. And this says, no, maintain people.
Yeah, this guy's trying to get rid of them.
Yeah, right, exactly. So it just keeps on going. Rule, passion, faith, tradition, and all these things with tempered reason. How is reason doing us so much good right now, and so on? Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. You cannot have fair laws and just courts without referring to an absolute, which is God, and God is just. I'm a believer, obviously. I just gave myself away here, right? Let all nation rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. Again, transfer all authority from nations to global entities. What do we have now? World Economic Forum, global health. We have the WHO, World Health Organization, world this, world that. So people are working diligently towards these goals. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. We still come back to the other problem of how do you establish what is just. Balance personal rights with social duties. So no more individuality. Let's live for the community, which is another kind of philosophy that's at work. Prize truth. I love that one because everything seems to be turned upside down right now. And do not be a cancer on the earth. Humanity is a cancer on the earth. You know, this is a philosophy that exists right now, and we should be aware of what's happening. I encourage everybody to educate themselves and find out, you know, what's going on in the world. And these things, very strange, in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
People come here, and this is a philosophy of life, and we're seeing it. This is my reading and my opinion. We're seeing these things put in place. And again, if I may, a last little comment, Rob.
Go for it.
As I'm a believer, I believe that Jesus is coming back, and he's going to establish the real one kingdom in the world. Every other attempt is going to be a disaster. And he's going to establish the real one kingdom in the world. Every other attempt is going to be a disaster.